Welcome back to another episode of Wonder Woman Says. I'm Ariana. Of course, my lovely fiance Mindo. We're back for yet another night.
No Jimmy Carter this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there could be.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens with that. Well, we got two more comics to review tonight. If you watched the last episode, we promised you we was gonna review Gunslinger, Spawn, and Wolverine. So let's get into it.
As I've been telling her for years, she needs to review Spawn.
I mean, actually, we already did. You know, if you remember, we reviewed Spawn #1 for a blast in the past. Yeah.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Well, go check it on YouTube. It's there.
You check it on YouTube.
Okay. Well,
Goofy.
I love this cover right here. This is actually one of the villains. This ain't Gunslinger.
That kind of looks like Elric from those books that The Witcher's stolen from.
Oh, well, I wouldn't really know anything about that, but I'll take your word on that one.
Also, I can't help but notice that it's Gunslinger Spawn, but the cover's a guy holding a sword.
Yeah, like I said, this definitely ain't Gunslinger, that's for sure. Yeah, but it is one of his villains that has a personal grudge against him, I might add, which we'll find out in this book why he got a grudge.
I hereby dub him Swordy Man.
But yeah, this is Gunslinger right here, though. Yeah, this kind of explains his backstory in the narration boxes, saying that he's a man lost in time. He's supposed to be back in the 1800s, but he's stranded in today's time. He's pretty much trying to use the regular Spawn to get back the way he belongs.
And yet he's already mastered posing like he's in a 90s fashion catalog.
And meanwhile, the regular Spawn and She-Spawn are arguing about how they're going to go about fighting the Hell Spawns that are hot on the trails.
So it's like a whole Spawn family now?
Yeah, I guess you could say it's what they're trying to build. Of course, they kind of can't come to terms like who's going to do what. Gunslinger's just kind of standing off to the side.
So is there going to be like an Uncle Spawn and the 3 Lieutenant Spawns?
It might be possible. It seems like you're trying to build a whole, like, I guess you say a whole Spawn universe, I guess you could call it.
Gonna have a talking tiger for a sidekick?
Maybe.
Oh, that's right. You don't read Shazam.
Oh yeah, I mean, I never really read the Shazams from back that far, but you know, yeah. But yeah, here we see this cool shot right here, the regular Spawn and Gunslinger kind of talking about how they're going to go about this war they found themselves in. Like, Gunslinger don't really care for Al that much. Al don't really care much for, well, actually, Gunslinger's real name's Javier. He don't really care much for him either. He's kind of in a situation where they got to rely on each other to get to where they need to go.
So, quick question. If there's a Jurassic Spawn, would his name be Allosaurus?
That's a good one right there. That's a good one. As Al walks off, and Gunslinger and She-Spawn start talking about like how Al is kind of apprehensive at times, and Al just kind of don't know what's good for him. Meanwhile, Terry's like in the lab trying to figure out who was after them. I will say something pretty funny is coming up soon.
Aside from him presenting?
Yeah. Well, Gunslinger walks into the lab.
That was a zoology joke.
Oh yeah. They're like looking up at the possible enemies on the computer screen.
Holy shit, there is a dinosaur spawn.
Yeah, I guess you could say there is.
That's Allosaurus right there.
Yeah. But then, keep in mind, Gunslinger's from the 1800s, so he don't know anything about computers. He think those computers are actually windows. So he thinks like the guy on the screen is really getting ready to shoot at them. He tells everybody to duck. He pretty much shoots at the computer screen thinking it's an ambush. I found that pretty damn funny. Meanwhile, one of the villains is near the Arizona-Mexico border. He's getting ready to make a proposition to somebody that has a vendetta against Gunslinger. This man he's talking to, he might be in a wheelchair now. He claims to be retired, but he's telling them that he has a reward for him. Now, if he can help him take care of Gunslinger first, and that's when he turns to this person, which is this person on the cover.
Swordy Man.
Yeah. This guy actually wants revenge because he blames Gunslinger for his whole family being wiped out. So here, Terry and his assistant trying to explain to Gunslinger that was just a computer screen, but he's not comprehending it because, of course, they didn't have no computers in this time. So they kind of start getting frustrated because he can't understand the concept. But then meanwhile, Gunslinger and she Spawn start, and regular Spawn start talking about how they're gonna take care of something which requires them to go into the dead zone. Of course, Al and Gunslinger decide to go together.
But if they go together, the ice is gonna break.
But yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else because I'm not gonna spoil the end of this one. I never really read this comic series before I read this issue. I heard about Gunslinger, but I didn't quite know what to make of him. I decided to satisfy my curiosity. See, my Image is really trying to build like an ongoing, like cohesive universe now more than ever. Guess they're seeing how it's working for everybody else.
I think they tried to do that back in the 90s, but people kept like leaving the company, taking their characters with them.
Yeah.
That's why there's been like 5 different origins for Spawn.
Yeah, but it seemed like they really want to try to really connect everything now. Seem like they kind of really got a game plan for it too, which I think is cool. I don't like the Image is really like still here, as you can see right here, 30th anniversary. Yeah.
And all that's left is to get you to review a Spawn comic.
Well, this the second one now, technically. But yeah, I have to give that one 9.5. I love the artwork, and of course I've always loved Spawn. I love seeing this new take on him too, Gunslinger. I think it's a cool character they got going now.
It's definitely got like the Pilgrim Lincoln hat.
Yeah, but I'm also saying they don't really show her too much throughout. I'm really curious about She-Spawn. I really want to know more about her.
Because I was like, is that his wife or something?
Well, honestly, I don't know, because I've been out of the loop for Spawn comics for so long. I only remember like the early issues of like when it first came out. That's the Spawn I'm most familiar with.
Well, maybe someday we'll review a Spawn comic and you can find out.
We'll review another one. But yeah, like I said, I love the artwork. I love the characters. I really love the concept behind it. Definitely 9.5 for me. I recommend it if you love Spawn. You're just looking for something different. You tired of DC and Marvel. You can't go wrong with this. Yeah. I hope this continues, to be honest. I also like, too, it's the cheapest comic on the market, too, today. In terms of new titles, just $2.99. I feel it's pretty generous in the age where everything's like $3.99 to $5.99 per issue. Yeah, definitely really good. Now we're about to take you back to 1990. Of course, promised he was going to review a Wolverine comic, so here we are, Wolverine number 26.
What is up with this art style? I'm not saying it looks bad, it's just it looks like something I drew in school when I was a kid.
Well, like I said, it was back in 1990, so of course we can't expect, art quality in this that we see in this, because this is like decades removed from each other.
I mean, sure, in the early 90s we were still, engraving in clay with bits of reed, but...
Yeah, of course, it's gonna look a lot more cartoony than this. Yeah. Yeah, comic books just look different back then compared to now.
Is that made of papyrus or something?
I don't really know. Oh, you talking about this right here?
That went right past you. Zoom! About sharp as a bowling ball. You gotta keep on your toes. Toes, that is.
Yeah.
Nice girl, but about as bright as a damp washcloth.
Yeah, okay. Now, this is the opening shot of the book right here. Turns out Wolverine's at the home of a former friend. Name is Bando Saburo. Yeah, this is like he arrives after he was killed, basically. Wolverine's greeted by a gang of criminals. Of course, they trying to see what he got, but we know Wolverine ain't going for this, so he pretty much gets in the battle with them.
If this comic had come out 2 years later, every single one of those people would have had an action figure.
Yeah, I will admit they do look cool. Too bad they're not going to ever be seen again after this. Wolverine pretty much slaughters them all.
Definitely kind of leaning into making him look like a Dracula in this one.
Yeah. As Wolverine makes sure work, the girl gets an idea to shoot Logan in the head, which knocks him out temporarily, but much to her chagrin, he gets up. He pretty much kills her too. And that's pretty much the end of that one right there. Then we see the shot of Marjorie pour. We see Wolverine resume his identity as Batch. He's pretty much gambling at this house with this gangster named Gene Claymore. Playing poker. They pretty much just betting money endlessly. Wolverine's actually winning too. But Wolverine's not there for no money though.
I'd like to think he's an aggressive gambler.
Yeah.
Goes all in on every bet. I mean, what are they going to do? Break his legs?
Yeah. As the gambling continues, Wolverine has a flashback to his deceased friend Bando. He at his house being comforted by him. They drink tea. Bando tells him about this bowl, how it's a treasure of his family that's been passed down from generation to generation. He also starts voicing concern about his nephew, how his nephew doesn't really think he's gonna amount to anything, and he's talking about how he's so obsessed with material wealth and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, we get back to Wolverine gambling with Gene. Of course, he's pretty much been winning the whole night so far. Gene's been surprisingly easy about it. He hasn't been flipping out about it yet.
Uh-oh. I think the plot's about to thicken.
Yeah. Then we get another flashback. Wolverine arrives at Bando's house just minutes after he was murdered. Bando and his wife just been slaughtered. But then Wolverine, you can see how stricken he is with grief.
What is this expression?
Oh, we talking about this up here? Yeah, he just freaking losing it because he really cared about that guy and he see him dead.
He looks like Bruce Campbell in Even Dead too. Wait, did I say Even Dead?
Yeah, you said Even Dead. Yeah, you're not the only one making mistakes tonight.
Okay, fair play,
yeah,
fair play.
Yeah. But yeah, Wolverine's just in a rage. He's like vowing to find out who did it. Meanwhile, we go back to Wolverine still gambling with Gene. And he's still beating him too. And he's not cheating or anything. He's just using his wits to outsmart him.
Well, there he doesn't look like Bruce Campbell in Even Dead too.
Of course,
that was a joke, son. Joke that is.
Of course, you can see them playing some more hands. Wolverine wins yet again. And finally, everything comes to a halt. Wolverine tells him the real reason he's there. Like Wolverine tells him he don't care about the money. Like he just wants that bowl that belonged to his friend. He wants to know who sold it to him. Of course, he tells him who sells it to him, but that doesn't stop Gene from trying to rush him. But that turns out to be Gene's biggest mistake of his life. He ends up falling out the window to his death. You know, now his henchmen is still alive, but Wolverine pretty much tells them they could try to kill him if they want to, but that they're pretty much off the payroll now that their boss is dead. They tend to like let that sink in and they let Logan leave. So it turns out the killer of his friend was his friend's nephew all along, but his friend's about to take part in an ancient Japanese ritual where he commits suicide.
Seppuku.
Yeah. Also, I must say,
Dick Tracy.
Yeah, I was about. This is a cool advertisement for the movie that came out. It was gonna come out when this book came out. That was a good movie too. Shame
Yes, it
there
was.
never a sequel to it. Before he could complete the seppuku, Logan comes walking in the door, tells him that he knows what he did to his uncle. Of course,
Stop saying of course.
he shows him the bowl, which he's all too eager to touch, but Logan reminds him that he's going to die for what he did to his uncle. And of course, he has a revelation to share with him. Although he killed his uncle, he was going to get the bowl anyway because his uncle was dying of stomach cancer. He was basically going to leave it to him, so he pretty much killed his family for nothing in the end. His servant tries to kill Wolverine, but Wolverine kills him. But then the guy's nephew tries to kill Wolverine, and Wolverine kills him too. That's pretty much the end of this story, just about. Wolverine takes the bowl and puts it on Bando's grave, and he just walks off. And that's the end of the story, but this right here is just a pure work of art. This is a epic shot of Wolverine right here. I just absolutely love this. Yeah, they should. This is like frame worthy right here, if you ask me.
And to think the whole thing could have been avoided if he'd been there to give Bando aid.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it now. Bando aid. Yeah, that's a nice joke right there.
I tried.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't get you with the even dead joke, so I got you with the Bando aid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the story was quite simple. It was just a revenge tale. Somebody killed Wolverine's friend, so he went out and avenged them. It was one of those one and done stories, if you want to think about it. I really like it. Sometimes that's all you really need in a comic. You don't really need no 8 or 9 parters. You could just kind of wrap things up in one decently told story.
Alright, so out of 5.
I have to give this a 4. I like this. You know, I like Wolverine a lot. I'll admit, you know, when it comes to the group he's famous for being in the X-Men, I could take or leave a lot of the members, but Wolverine was always my favorite of the bunch. I was so happy when I found out years ago he had a solo series of his own. Yeah, because he definitely deserves it. Yeah, so definitely a 4. I recommend it. You shouldn't have no trouble finding it. Should find that book for about maybe $2 or $3 at the most. It's worth it. If you really like them.
So what we got on tap for next week?
Well, next episode we're going to be reviewing the latest Deathstroke comic that's coming out. And then on the side, we're going to have for a blast from the past, a Luke Cage comic from 1993. Has him going up against the Punisher. That ought to be fun.
And then maybe next time you can review your first Spawn comic.
Keep telling you, yeah. Yeah. You seem to have a fixation with that tonight. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're just walking right into them.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, be here next week, man. Deathstroke Incorporated and Cage. That's gonna be the bill for next week. And yeah.
Be sure to press that like button.
And subscribe and continue to help us out. Continue supporting us with your views. We definitely appreciate it. Oh yeah. I don't know if you've seen it, if you live around this area and go to cons. I know I said it before, but I'm going to be walking the runway in December. It's pretty much confirmed now. I can't wait to do that.
Yep,
Yeah.
we actually ran into the guy who's running the thing at the movies the other night. We went to see Nope.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, it's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that really made me light up too. I was like, oh, somebody actually recognized me when I'm not in costume for once. I love that.
Mm-hmm. So there's that to look forward to.
Yeah, and we're about to go head up to Cookout to, I guess, get something to eat right quick. So we about to sign out for the night. So you enjoy the rest of your evening. See you next episode. Take care.
Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Yeah.